development in our country sucks. If there's anybody listening and they want to tell me I'm wrong, they can.
No,
but
it sucks.
It sucks. We're so far behind. And Red Bull have sort of created a system to develop. And some of that's not like, hey, just put some cones out for some kids and teach them. It's a pathway.
Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen. Volkswagen has long been a supporter of soccer in America and has proudly been a partner of U.S. Soccer for over 5 years.
Welcome into another edition of Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen. This could also be called, This is Why They're Actually Not Really Friends. Because listen up, everybody. You see where I am? See where he is? We're in the same city. Once again. And I haven't seen him, but I have invited him to a really nice dinner. And he's basically told me no. So this is where we're at. How are you, Landon?
To be fair, the menu didn't look great.
It's a lie.
No, it had like fried chicken and French fries, and I didn't want that.
It's the corner store, bro. Come on.
I don't know what that means.
Nobody
wants to go to a store for dinner.
That's so LA of you. Or
It's
San
just
Diego.
it's just the truth.
What are you doing in town?
Actually, I'm just here with my wife. I'm not just here with my wife, and then I'm doing some work with our bosses this week.
And tell me about that shirt. Looks great.
Yeah, so I went to an event last week. I was in New York again, and I went to a place called Newburgh. You know where that is?
Yeah, upstate.
So yeah, I had no idea. Like we were driving, and I'm like, "Where's this place?" It was in the Hudson River Valley.
How
Hudson
beautiful!
Valley?
By the way, how beautiful is Hudson River Valley?
Beautiful! Oh my God,
it's
Tim!
a gem.
If I lived here,
Yeah.
I would live somewhere there because it was stunning. The whole drive, you got the river down the side, and there's green and trees, and it was beautiful.
You want to know what the crazy thing, just geographically speaking? There are people in this area, LD, that don't know how beautiful Hudson Valley is. Like they just don't. When you live here, you're so fast paced, and you don't even like take the time to like look up. But you just drive like an hour outside the city.
That's what I'm saying. Is I would live there and just drive in it, or
it's
train in, or whatever if you had to.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right, guys. Happy Tuesday as you listen to this. As always, please follow us on social media at Unfiltered Soccer. Subscribe to the show on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your pods. You can email us at feedback@unfilteredsoccer.com as always. All right, Timmy, USMNT on USLNT. So the first news is some horrific news. Last week, Patrick Agyemang goes down in the game, non-contact, and we're watching it, and you and I know, like, we're always told when we're doing broadcasts and stuff, don't speculate. You don't know what the injury was, but when you watched it, you went, oh my God, I hope that's not his Achilles. Unfortunately, it was his Achilles. So he is now out. Any chances he had of going to the World Cup are done. And it's just, I hate it, man. It's just devastating because the kid, he'd done everything right. He really had.
Yeah, it's sad. It's hard for him. You know, when you it's really interesting because I've seen a couple of these now, LD. So we're within a couple months from the World Cup, and I've seen these injuries. His for us being the most important, but I've seen players get injured, and the camera zooms in, and there's this look of anguish, and they're crying, and I'm going, oh,
they know.
He knows he's out for 4 months, and he's gonna miss the World Cup. It's tears of like fear and anguish, and we saw that with Agyemang, and I feel for him because the good thing is he's young, which is not much of a consolation, but he's done everything right. He's gone the right route. He's developed. He went to MLS. He did the business well enough that someone wanted to come and buy him. They bought him, and when European clubs buy you, they play you because that's how that works. And he's done the business. He's done well. 10 goals and 38 appearances. And the next step is to be on the World Cup squad, and it's not going to happen for him. So it's tough, man. It's really devastating.
We saw it too with Rodrigo, and like anytime someone gets injured this time before, it's devastating. So I just a few memories, and we weren't there. Miles Robinson in May of 2022, he was probably going to be a starter. He tore his Achilles and was out for the World Cup. The one I remember was in 2002. Armas, he was probably our
definitely.
He was in the mix to start for us
Definitely,
with Claudio, John O'Brien, those guys, and he tore his knee during our friendly against Uruguay, and that was a few weeks before we were gone for the World Cup. So it was just like it was devastating to see.
Like, this is the hard part that people don't quite understand. Like, when you like you play for the Galaxy or Everton or whatever club you play for, right? You get injured, which sucks, by the way. You're still not like as bad as injuries are, LD. You're with your family every day. So you go in, your family being the team. So you go into training. I still have breakfast with you. I then go see the physios. I'm still around the boys for the banter. I'm still, in the gym sessions, or at least I'm hanging around. I'm having lunch. Like, my world hasn't changed other than the fact that I got injured. When you get injured with the national team, you talk about Chris Armas or any player or Patrick Agyemang. It's kind of like, bro, I'm so sad for you, man. Sorry that happened. And then that's it. Like you literally don't even think about the guy anymore because you can't. You like, from a competitive standpoint, you cannot. It's done. He can't help you. It's over until he can come back. And that's sort of hard for him. That'll be hard for him. You know what I mean?
My old assistant coach and then head coach Nate Miller, who's at AC Boise now, he would say when someone got injured, like the first week or two, everybody's texting and reaching out and whatever, and then everyone just goes back to their life because they have to and they have their job to do and whatever. And he was like, make sure when someone gets hurt, you reach out 2 months later and 3 months later and check in because they're going through it still, and we're moving on with our life. But for them, it still sucks. And also over the summer, it's going to be brutal for him because he's going to be home watching, have nothing. He's not going to be around his team. He's going to be on vacation somewhere. And
he might not even watch, by the way. There's a good chance of that.
He'll watch.
Really? Maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. Man.
Let me pick your brain on this. We talked a little bit, but let's dig more into it. I'm thinking like roster construction, right? So like the injury part of this, and I'm just talking about strikers, right? So you and I know traditionally, and depending on whether they expand or shrink the roster on a given year, but like traditionally we would say like you take 4 strikers, right? Like you have an allotted amount per position to get to whatever 23, 26, whatever it is. So oftentimes when we look back, like, oh, we took 4 strikers, right? So Flo's the number 9 out and out. He's the guy, Flo Balogun. And then after that, you have some semblance of Agyemang, Ricardo Pepi, Haji Wright. Some semblance of those 3. Mm-hmm. I could, prior to the injury, okay, prior to this Agyemang injury, I could argue with you that one of those guys might have missed out anyway. Here's why. In the last, I'm losing track of dates. So like March, and then we go back to November. There's something up with Ricardo Pepi. Like the times in a camp where you're like, okay, he's going to get a game or he's going to start. He doesn't, right? Or Flo plays the first game against, who do we play? Belgium. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, Flo's not going to play the next game, so one of the other guys will play. Nope, he plays Christian as the number false 9. So I'm looking at him going, how much faith does he actually have in these guys? Because here's why. If he had faith in him, he'd play him. 2, if he didn't know what he had, he'd go play yourself on or off the roster. Like, go have at it, kid. He's not even giving these guys minutes.
Right. So yeah, I mean, when it was time to choose another 9, Pochettino went with Christian.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And going back to November, I think the second game, was it, where you thought Pepe was going to play? He ended up coming on as a sub late on.
Right.
There was something that was awkward about that as well. Anyway. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. So the question then is, I think most people's minds went to, okay, then who next is on the team as a striker?
That's my point. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Actually, I mean, because he's proven with Josh Sargent, doesn't trust, like whatever, doesn't rate.
Yeah.
Brian White, he hasn't, that, and really those are the only 2 that I can. I mean, there's been a lot of talk lately about Zavier Gozo from Salt Lake, and I don't think that's going to happen either. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I mean, he's a good young player, but it's not going to happen.
Right. So where I started the conversation is sort of where people are ending the conversation. It's like, okay, well then, what striker does he take next? And I'm saying to you, I don't think he takes another striker because I wasn't convinced to begin with, if all 4 of our top strikers were healthy, that he took all 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I-
Especially given the last game where he played Christian there. Because I think in a pinch, if something happened to Flo not going to win the World Cup, his next choice might be Christian instead of Haji Wright or Pepe. It might be.
that's what I'm
Or
saying.
Weston or whoever.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at with the strikers. Which
Okay. So then who the options are sort of on the bubble people. Zendejas maybe gets in a Diego Luna who wasn't in because he was injured. Johnny Cardozo, it's a weird one. Maybe he's already locked in. Is it an extra defender? Maybe there's an extra defender because there's a lot of ways to go.
Yeah. With this team, I would take it. I mean, I think Diego Luna's on. He's on the plane. He's going. Yeah. But I'm just not. I think you probably take either like another potential wing back, or someone who can play like in the forward position or in the winger, not forward striker, but like winger, wide area. But ultimately that's still technically classed as a midfielder to me. Like I think an extra midfielder gets on this roster, not another striker.
Not a central midfielder though.
No, it doesn't have to be. No.
Or maybe he does. Maybe he brings like a culture guy.
Could be.
Like maybe that allows Sebastian Berhalter or Roldan to get on
Yeah.
the plane.
Yeah, for sure.
Or maybe both. Yeah. I'd be curious what you guys think. Let us know. Did we miss anybody there? I'm curious everyone's thoughts on Zavier Gozo too, because there's been a lot of chatter about him. And I can't imagine a scenario where a guy who's never been in camp is now being named to the team at the last minute. And, you never know, but it happens. Seems weird.
A good question for you about Gozo. How old is he?
19. 18, 19.
Did he score? Didn't he score a couple weekends ago, or that's what everybody was?
I think he scored a few goals.
He scored a few goals.
Season.
I have
to player.
I'm gonna look at. Yeah, he's a good player, of course. I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna dig into some of the Salt Lake stuff and go back and see like post game interviews. It's an interesting take. I know we're gonna end this block, but it's an interesting take because in the Premier League you have Rio Ingamoa and you have like Max Dowman, and they're sort of not like particularly Max Dowman who's 16. They're not like Arsenal. He scores a goal. They're not putting him out for the media. Like they compete.
Right.
But it's real. It's like a real thing. They're like, you're not going to speak to the media. Good thing, great, you scored a goal, but back to training. So they treat their youngsters differently in Europe, and in MLS, it's like we have a youngster.
Wait to put him out there.
We have to put him on the program. We have to put him in front of everybody, and so it's like I'm interested to see how they handle it.
It's interesting you said it. When I was in Germany, they had this term. I think it was Nachwuchstalent, and it was like the next star. And anytime any young German would play a game, he was blasted out because they wanted like some hope that this was going to be the next star. And it's interesting in England, they're like,
they don't.
You're not talking to anyone. You're go back to school, enjoy your schoolwork, and like we get on with it. Yeah,
it's interesting. It's time now for the Unfiltered Refresh, sponsored by Coors Light. Choose chill. Get Coors Light delivered. Go to CoorsLight.com/UFS. All right, LD. This week, who chose chill? I know who you're going to pick. I always know who you're going to pick.
Our guy, Flo Balogun. Timmy, it's never bad when you are mentioned in the same sentence as Neymar.
Yep.
With his goal in the 36th minute against Paris FC, Flo became the first player in Ligue 1 to score in 7 consecutive league matches since Neymar did it for PSG in 2022. Now, they lost 4-1 to Paris FC, but for our guy, Flo, we need him continuing to stay hot, and he's up to 20 goals now this season, including friendlies and all his goals in Ligue 1. So it's been great to watch. We do need him to show up and keep scoring for the U.S., but congrats to him. Amazing accomplishment.
It's a huge one. I mean, you know this. The thing about goal scorers, I oftentimes think of goalkeepers with clean sheets. When you start like getting consecutive clean sheets or 3 out of every the last 4 games, you just don't think you can get scored on. And goal scorers are the same. It's such an innate feeling. Like you just think the ball is going to leave your foot and hit the back of the net. And I mean, it is so. I can't tell you of all the football and soccer I watch, to score 7 goals consecutively in 7 straight matches.
In a top league in the
In
world.
it's so difficult, man. Like in any league, by the way, LD.
Yep.
That's hard. Like there's guys in the New York Sunday League that I watch every week. I pass by. They're not scoring a goal a weekend.
Right.
No, I'm serious. But like, and then for an American to score, 20 goals is the benchmark. 20 goals is for any striker in a season. 20 goals is the benchmark. And he's there and he's doing it. And I think there's big things on the horizon for Flo, particularly if he has a really good World Cup. So
yeah, could get a really big move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congrats to you, Flo, for choosing chill. Cheers to you. Long may it continue, my friend. As always, guys, please remember to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It helps other people find the show and keeps you up to date on everything we're doing. Let's take a break. When we get back, we will get into latest MLS news, as well as a couple wild races in the Premier League. Man, this is getting interesting. I think the last 6 games are going to be wild. Right here on Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, as always, presented by Volkswagen.
The Unfiltered Soccer podcast is brought to you by Volkswagen. It's really easy to become a passenger in life.
take control. Live life in the driver's seat. Learn more at VW.com.
Life. If we're not living it, what are we doing here? So,
Let's go!
LD, MLS is back.
Yes, it is. And you know what that means? Saturdays are once again all about soccer.
Walmart is making Saturdays of soccer even more glorious with Walmart Saturday Showdown. From early practices to late night watch parties.
Yeah, Walmart and MLS bring every emotion of the beautiful game to Saturdays. Joy, nerves, excitement, and unforgettable golazos.
Walmart plays on Saturdays.
Who knew?
When it comes to unforgettable getaways, Carnival Cruise Line is calling.
Discover the Paradise Collection, the largest collection of exclusive cruise destinations. From white sand beaches to vibrant cultures and one-of-a-kind stops like Celebration Key and Relax Away at Half Moon Cay.
On board, enjoy incredible dining, live entertainment, and endless ways to relax and have fun at sea.
We're already looking forward to planning our Carnival cruise once the final whistle blows on the world's biggest stage in soccer and reaching for an ice-cold Coca-Cola.
Hot takes, a cold Coca-Cola, and open seas. Head to carnival.com/unfiltered for your chance to win a cruise.
No purchase necessary. Ends June 15th. Open to the 50 United States and DC. 21 and over. For rules, visit official-rules.com/unfiltered-podcast. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. April is when things get real. Title races, knockout rounds, every match carrying a little more weight. There's no coasting right now. Every result matters. That's why I love this time of year. Club or country, there's always a match worth watching and something on the line. And if you're watching, you might as well get in on it with FanDuel. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if you win. That's right, make a $5 bet, and if you win, you'll unlock $250 in bonus bets that you can use on goal scorer markets, match result, over-unders, same-game parlays, and much more. So as the pressure builds this month, make your move. Just visit FanDuel.com/unfiltered to download the app and get started.
All right, LD, we got some MLS stories. It's MLS time.
Yep.
This first one's a problem for me. Go. Just go.
Okay.
Go.
All right, Montreal.
Montreal.
Lose to Philly. They lose 2-1 to Philly. And subsequently, their senior director of recruitment and athletic methodology.
Read that again. Read that again for people at home because I had to read it 5 times.
The senior director, not the junior director, of recruitment and athletic methodology, Luca Saputo, announced that Marco Donadel has been relieved of his duties as head coach, effective immediately. Montreal, the first team in MLS history to sack a coach within the first 10 matches of 2 consecutive seasons. And Montreal fired its head coach last year before the home opener. This year, the axe comes the day after their home opener. The club's next coach will be its 12th coach in 14 seasons.
Can I go?
Oh, boy. Yep.
So just for the record, And I'm an MLS owner, part owner.
You're like that
advisor.
guy who stands outside the club and says you own the club, but you put $5,000 in.
Oh, I'll tell you what, if I put $5,000 in, that'd have been a lot easier.
Go ahead.
But so we're all open to criticism. We know the role.
Yeah.
So this could be Montreal or this could be AFC bumblefuck. I'm gonna say to you this: you cannot, Landon. You cannot. If you and I decided tomorrow we're gonna buy a team in Spain, we could not have the team or have the team exist for 14 years and have 12 managers.
Mm-hmm.
That's an impossibility.
Especially in MLS.
That's an impossibility. So we can talk about what titles are, what director of whatever swimming, what was this director of methodology and periodization and all these fancy words we pretend to use in football. You can't have 12 managers in 14 years. By the way, with no success, if you're saying that this is Roman Abramovich's Chelsea and you've had that many, but you've also had 14 titles, okay. You can't be terrible and have that many coaches. Can't.
In MLS, it's almost impossible. I would say it's more difficult to be as bad as Montreal have been than it is to win a championship.
Yeah.
Because there's parity. Everybody basically spends the same amount. Now, Montreal are not spending a lot of money on DPs and that kind of stuff, but still, like, it's hard to be that bad. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think, yeah.
What?
No, I like in the game, and I think about this with, like, I'm a New York Giants fan, so I'm gonna crap on the Jets for a minute. Like, the Jets have stunk for, like, I don't know, 55 years. They might not even been in existence 55 years. They stunk, right? And I often think when you're at like in a big media market, not that Montreal is that, but New York is, and when your organization for like a decade just stinks, just go headhunt. Literally, if you're Montreal, you know a bunch of these guys, but there are GMs and technical directors and coaches who have like nailed on success. Not that you could ever have nailed on success in MLS. They have nailed on. In fact, their neighbors, Toronto, did the same thing. They went, all right, who's best practice here? We'll get him.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the best? We'll get him.
Mm-hmm.
So they got the best GM, the best coach, the best DPs, right? And then they went, we got a couple trophies, right? And like, so it's not really that hard, you know.
Mm-mm. And by the way, like we know him and we've interviewed, like, Bob Bradley. Obviously, it didn't go great in Toronto.
Sure.
But, like, that's an easy one. Like, just go sort, like what Chicago did with Greg Berhalter. Like, just go get San Jose with Bruce. Get someone sturdy, knows the game. Like, it's
give them some power in decision making.
That's right.
Which is what Chicago did with Greg Berhalter, which is what San Jose did with Bruce.
That's right.
And then, like, and by the way, it doesn't even have to be a long-term fix, but at least someone you're not going to sack in 8 months.
That's right.
Like, get you over the next 2 or 3 years. Anyway.
All right, let's stop talking about them. Portland, our guy Phil.
Big
massive.
Phil Neville.
What a win.
Let's go.
What a win over LAFC. I always say this, Tim. When you play teams in MLS is crucial because there's just not enough depth in all these teams.
Yeah.
So Sonny gets rested for LAFC. They're also playing in Champions Cup. So they were, they have their mind elsewhere. They're traveling a lot, whatever. So they go to Portland and Portland wins it late. When you play teams is crucial. I'm not saying they wouldn't have won the game, but it certainly made a big difference not having Sonny and all the travel and everything.
Made a huge difference, and I agree with that. But it's a big win. Rooting for Phil. I don't even like Phil that much. He came on the show and it was like our highest listened to episode. So I want to give Phil love. Come back on.
Maybe he needs to come back on.
Anyway, no, I'm delighted.
I want to say something. I keep seeing all this talk about Sonny hasn't scored in the league.
Yeah.
He hasn't scored. This is what. First of all, he has 7 assists. They're probably, with Vancouver, the best team in the league.
Yeah.
I want to share a story. In my first season, I didn't start the first game, played like 20 minutes, played like 10 minutes my second game, and then I started. Mm-hmm. And we ended up going on a 12-match unbeaten streak.
Mhm.
But I started every game during that time, and for I think 7 or 8 games, I didn't score.
Mhm.
And then I scored against some shitty goalie from New York.
Was it me?
And
Amazing.
okay, yeah. But my point is Frank Yallop would bring me in because I was like, Coach, I'm so sorry. I'm trying so hard to score. And he'd go, Landon, we haven't lost in 6 games.
Yeah.
You're playing.
Yeah.
He said, I don't care if you scored or you're contributing to the team and we haven't lost. You're going to play.
Yeah.
And Sonny's a different level than I was at that point or any point in my career. But like, he's going to play. He's impacting the game and who cares if he's, I'm so sick of hearing,
You know what else?
Like, who cares?
You know what else I would say to people who have said what you said, like, why isn't he scoring? Sonny's brilliant, by the way. I've played against him. I've watched him. He's brilliant. What he does, right? He did this at Tottenham for years. He would come underneath and he would facilitate, right? And he'd get his assists. And he had a really good balance of assists and goals.
Mm-hmm.
When Kane wasn't there or he had to start up top, then the balance shifted to Sonny scoring all the goals, right? Like he had this shift. If you're winning, to your point about you and Frank Yallop, if you're winning, and Sonny clearly has some sort of like that smell, that feel for the assists at the moment. He's got 7 assists. He's probably actually going, I'm not going to hunt goals.
Mm-mm.
We're winning. I'm coming underneath. I'm playing short. I'm unlocking doors.
Yep.
He might get 10 assists, 11 assists before he gets his first goal. And they're still winning. Who cares?
Yeah.
He'll get goals, by the way.
And he's clever. He knows what he's doing, right? Like if Bouanga's not on the field or Martinez is not, he'll find a way to score.
Correct.
So correct. Shout out to LAFC's Jude Terry, 17-year-old with a great goal, and another young kid, Julian Hall for Red Bull. They go to Miami and draw 2-2.
Yeah.
2 assists for Julian Hall, including one to fellow teenager Audrey Mehmeti. And I love what Michael's doing at Red Bull. I mean, I went to like my FOTMob app the other day and I was looking through their team and I'm like, this guy's 18, this guy's 19, this guy's 21, this kid's 17. And I'm going, how are they winning games? You know, it's a little bit like I do in MLS now when I look at a roster and I see like, he's American, he's American, he's American. Like San Jose, you're like, every guy's American. How are they winning games? And it's, they're giving young kids a chance. They're giving Americans a chance. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. I'm obviously huge fan of Michael Bradley for, all the stuff we've been through as teammates. But I also we talk about development. Like development in our country sucks. If there's anybody listening and they want to tell me I'm wrong, they can.
No,
but
it sucks.
It sucks. We're so far behind. And Red Bull have sort of created a system to develop. And some of that's not like, hey, just put some cones out for some kids and teach them. It's a pathway, right? And doors have to be open in order to continue on that pathway. Meaning like, hey, we like you, Michael Bradley. We like your ideas. We like your style and how you're gonna approach this and how you did it with our B team. By the way, we're going to give you maybe more leeway, right? Because we want you to play kids. We want you to develop them. We think they can. There's going to be some growing pains, but we think you can do the business. And so, like, that's how you develop. And it's not even one kid. They're developing a club full of them, and they have for a while. So,
everyone else take notice.
Yeah.
I know, like, everyone feels the pressure to win every weekend, but they're getting results. They went to Miami and drew with all these young kids. It's great. Vancouver beat NYCFC 2-0, 6 goals now in 7 games for Brian White. You know, I saw some chatter about, Agyemang's out. Could it be? I mean, Brian White's not going to the World Cup, but he's a phenomenal player. And I just want to say this, Tim. Sebastian Berhalter, and you say what you want about him. Everyone's got opinions, whatever. The fact that he is now 2 months away, Taylor Twellman tweeted this the other day. He's 2 months away from being free to sign anywhere in the world on 6 months ahead of your contract being done. I know there's business aspects and all this. What is Vancouver doing? How could you let this guy get away? Right. And I know there's different sides of the story, whatever. This is Chris Armas. This is Dax McCarty. This is Michael Bradley when he was there. This is every good, solid central midfielder in MLS that makes your team win. And he's American and he's probably going to the World Cup. What are you doing? I can't figure this out. It's bizarre to me.
Well,
It's
hopefully,
bizarre.
it's a little bit late to get a contract done, but hopefully they can get something across the line. If they don't, the bizarre thing is this. I'm on a heater today, but you and I think the same way. We talk about development in our country and all these things, right? But we're our own worst enemy because the powers that be, the people that sign the checks, don't even value their own, right? So
right.
because the starting point, like I'm trying to think, like the Premier League's the highest paying league in the world, right? And so it makes it quote unquote easier. You bring a kid through an academy, right? And I don't know what you give him, 10 grand a week. I don't know what the academy kids are on, 10 grand, 20 grand a week, right? He lights it up, scores 10 goals in the Premier League. Now Chelsea want him because he's call it Man United. Man United go, well, no, you're not getting close. He was on 10, 12, 20 grand a week. Here's 60 grand a week. By the way, like 3 years before your contract's even up.
Correct. It's not
right?
3 months. It's
not
3
3 months.
years.
3 years. Because they value the asset.
That's
Where in America, the starting point is so low. Like, I don't know. Do we know what Berhalter's making? We must. But
My guess is, I don't know, 500, 600.
Whatever, right? So for a kid like that, if we're going with that number, we can correct these numbers. We're saying he's making 500. I'm saying straight off the top, he gets a $1.5 million contract straight off.
That's right.
Tripling his
by
money.
the way, which you can do, just so people understand the mechanism, you can do that in MLS without making him a DP.
Right.
I think max TAM number is 1.7 or 1.8 or something. So you could do that. You could have done that yesterday.
Which we have to do away with all the mechanisms and all that.
Right.
But anyway,
that's a different story.
That's a different story.
But I'm just saying, if you're like, oh, we don't want to spend a DP spot, fine, do that.
Right. But my point to you is, and you've seen this with someone like Sebastian Berhalter, because he's like sort of one of your own. He's not one of your own, but you brought him in. He's young.
Yep.
Let's call it. He's on $500,000. You almost the powers that be that write the checks get fixated on that number. Well, he's only worth that. No, he's actually not only worth that. He's probably worth triple that.
Correct.
And by the way, the way we've seen recruiting in MLS, and this is a big problem I have with MLS, they'll go, Sebastian Berhalter, we'll let you go. Because guess what? We'll
find the next guy. Right?
We'll go into second division of Spain, or we'll go down to Colombia, and we'll spend $10 million on a guy who doesn't want to be here. Who's a bust.
That's right.
Anyway,
it's ridiculous.
I gotta get off
it is.
tangent, by the way.
No, I love it. All right, let's move on to the Premier League. Ooh, it was a fun weekend.
Juicy, huh?
I love this chaos. So Arsenal lose home to Bournemouth. City go away to Chelsea and batter them.
City were good,
and now very good. I feel like he got the mix of players right now.
Yeah.
Doku's playing, O'Reilly's in there, and and Rodri obviously a big part of it.
Yeah.
So now City are 6 points back. They are home to Arsenal next weekend. So they win that game. Now they're 3 points back with a game in hand. And I think their goal differential would be ahead if they beat Arsenal.
And FYI, their game in hand is the following Wednesday after the Arsenal game against Burnley.
Oh, it's Burnley. That's right. Okay.
So
So you have to assume that with
They could be top of the
beat
table.
Arsenal, right? They could be top with 4 games to go.
Yeah, they could be top by Wednesday night if they beat Arsenal and Burnley. I think that's right.
Okay. It's gonna be. You're in Tampa, right?
We're in Tampa next weekend. Fan
It's
Fest.
gonna be amazing to watch that,
dude.
It's gonna be
Listen,
fun.
this Fan Fest, by the way, I'm promoting NBC here. We have the Merseyside Derby. I'm thinking about days.
Oh, I forgot about
We have
that.
the Merseyside Derby. We have Arsenal, City. I think we have Man United, Chelsea,
Oh my god,
and then there's another fourth game.
this is an all-timer.
It's madness, bro.
Well, also then, so let's dig into the other.
And I'll be in
side of
Ybor
this.
City. I'll be out all night. It's just gonna be chaos.
Ybor City. That's
It's gonna be
shout.
chaos.
Let's talk about the other end of the table because you're gonna have Spurs as well.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, and I keep hearing you say it. I heard you say it Sunday on NBC that Spurs are gonna stay up.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know we're on record here, so you know those Walgreens receipts?
I
I'm
know.
gonna have a big long one.
But I have not wavered, so that's how you know.
No, I know.
That's how you know. So I still have Arsenal winning the league, and I still have.
Oh boy.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
And I
And
still
Spurs.
have Spurs staying up, which by the hour is getting harder to say. and now it looks like, no speculation, but looks like Christian Romero's going to be out.
Right.
Depending on what the scans say.
Right.
Vicario, we know, is out.
That might help them.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I think we'll get to some more Spurs stuff, but yeah, I mean, I just sort of think they will. It's gonna be tight. I do believe you're probably gonna get the drama that the world wants. I think you'll come down to the last couple kicks of the ball.
I always do this exercise with you guys. After each game, I send like remaining games, and I tell you guys how many points West Ham are going to get, how many not Wolves,
I know,
Forest, and how many Spurs are going to get. And I'm the head of scientific methodology here.
Swimming, yeah.
Like the Saputo guy from Montreal. Swimming, yes. And I think Spurs, 6 games left. I think they get 6 points, and I think the other two, Forest and West Ham, get 5 points, which is not enough.
You think they're going down?
I do. I can't. Tim, they haven't won a game in I don't know how long.
This calendar year. Yeah, interesting. All right. We'll jump more of that later.
All right. I have receipts though. It's Stoppage Time, sponsored by FanDuel. New customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if you win. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. All right, here we go. City win last weekend at Chelsea. Arsenal lose at home to Bournemouth, and the title race is on. I love this. I do think this is going to come down to the last game of the season because I think City beat Arsenal at home this weekend. I think Erling Haaland's been a little off it a bit in the league and hasn't scored as much as he would like, but I do think he gets on the score sheet. I know I say that all the time, but I do think he gets on the score sheet, either with a goal or an assist. I think Arsenal holds City till halftime. They will get back to their defensive waves because they've been conceding some goals lately. Uncharacteristic of them, but I think Mikel Arteta gets them backfiring defensively. So 0-0 at half, but I think City then will score in the second half. I don't think Arsenal score in this game. City are so dominant with the ball right now, and it's just hard for teams to get out of there. And they've had all the possession, and they're just wave after wave of attack. Chelsea couldn't score at home against them. I don't think Arsenal score away. So Unfiltered Soccer's same game parlay this week. City to win, Erling Haaland to get back on the score sheet or have an assist. I think it's 0-0 at halftime. I don't think either team score in the first half. Both teams will not score in this game. City win the game, and they keep Arsenal off the score sheet. Don't forget to check out the full list of Unfiltered Soccer's same game parlay on our socials later this week. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we will get into your AT&T fan questions in the Fan Connection. We have a little surprise for you guys.
Oh, yeah, we
right
do.
Here on Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen. Stay right there. This episode is brought to you by Airbnb.
LD, when I think about big tournaments, you think about unforgettable moments. You and I have been a part of that together.
Yeah.
That Algeria game in South Africa, 2010, we were incredible as a team. But at the end, I get the ball, I give it to you. You go down the field, you and Clint, shot, score. It's etched in my mind. And then I also just think about the memories after the game in the locker room, the elation, being completely emotionally drained, going back to the hotel and the resort and seeing our families. It's like, it's the stuff that dreams are made of. You can't pinch yourself enough in those moments. It was just so special to share that.
You're absolutely right, Timmy. And this summer, fans from around the world will travel to experience the biggest event in the history of the world, the FIFA World Cup 2026. You can be part of the excitement by opening your doors and hosting those fans in your home. If you've ever thought about hosting, this summer is a great time as we welcome FIFA World Cup fans.
Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.com/host.
All right, Timmy. So earlier this year, we went to Beaver Creek to go skiing. You've been there?
Yeah, I have. It's beautiful.
Amazing place. So we go skiing. We're with 2 other families. So the kids go. Me and the dads get back, and all we want is a cold beer. And who was in charge of keeping the beer cold?
You.
Who forgot to put them in the fridge?
You.
Me.
Yeah.
But I didn't tell the guys. They're like, oh, we'll be over in like 5 minutes. Have the beers ready. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot. So what I did, because I'm a smart guy, I chucked them outside in the snow. And it was a total like Hail Mary. Like, I don't know if this is going to work or not. 6 minutes later, bang, freezing cold. They never knew.
They were all happy.
Tell me I'm a genius.
Well, LD, you are a genius. Let me say that.
Thank you.
amongst other things. You too can taste true mountain cold refreshment. Crack open a Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/UFS, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer.
Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
There's nothing better than feeling like someone has your back and that things are going to get done even without you having to ask. Like your crisp new jersey waiting for you in the locker room or a perfectly set up wall for a free kick.
Yeah, as we and Unfiltered Soccer get ready for next summer, we know that very little in the beautiful game is guaranteed. But as we prepare to bring our unfiltered brand of nonstop soccer coverage, it's good to know AT&T has your back with the AT&T Guarantee.
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service. That's the AT&T Guarantee.
Learn more at att.com/guarantee. AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or a wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Must be connected to impacted towers at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details. It's time for the Fan Connection presented by AT&T. Every week we invite you, the listener, to connect with us by submitting your questions. At AT&T, connecting changes everything. And on USLNT, our connections with you will help grow the game. All right, folks, welcome back. AT&T Fan Connection, everyone's favorite time of the week. But we have a surprise. Normally you would see Jordan. Today we're welcoming in Andrew. Andrew, welcome in. Welcome to the show. Is this your debut?
Guys, it is.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
So AG, you know when like when you watch the Olympics and you realize that for 4 years these people have been preparing for this one moment, and then you see they either succeed or they fail. Is that sort of how you've been approaching this week?
Like,
knowing that this was your one moment?
yeah, lots of early training, vocal exercises,
yelling at your kids.
Yeah, all of that.
I hope you get. I just hope you get like hate. I hope people are like, bring Jordan back.
Where's Jordan? Who is
because
this guy?
That's all part of performing.
Just so everyone knows.
That will ruin me, by the way.
I know.
You guys are used to it. If I get a lot of hate, it will absolutely crush me.
You'll be destroyed. All right, leave him alone. Andrew's the absolute best. He's one of our producers who actually puts the show together every week with Jordan. So Jordan is getting a week off, a much-deserved week off. All right, AG, Timmy wants you to bring the smoke.
Always.
So you had full reign to decide what you wanted to ask. Go on.
Okay.
Or what you wanted to choose.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest. First one here, no smoke.
Layup.
Okay.
Going to start nice. This is a nice one. Specifically
Andrew's
for
a nice
Landon.
guy.
Of course.
Okay.
This comes from Luke in Lincoln, which kind of gives this away. Can you please ask Landon what it felt like watching Lincoln City win promotion this morning? So he sent this the other day or a few days ago. And what it means to him to be a part of that success. Landon, you haven't talked about this, but this is not a small thing.
I didn't talk about it on purpose because I felt like I was going to jinx it. So all season, Lincoln City have been, the last 23, 4, 5 games, they've been unbeaten, which is an insane stat in League One because the games come thick and fast. Same with the championship, Tim, you know this. To do that for 22 or 23 or 4 straight games is insane. But as they were doing it, I didn't say a word to anyone. I didn't text Harvey, who is majority shareholder. I was just like quiet the whole. I didn't text Clive, who's the chairman. I was just left it because I didn't want to jinx it. And then finally last weekend, they went away to Reading and won 2-1 and clinched promotion. They have 93 points, Tim.
That's crazy, dude.
93
Congratulations,
points,
man.
And there's still 4 games left. They might get to 100.
Yeah.
And so it's just been phenomenal to watch. So they'll be in the championship next year against Spurs twice.
Wow,
sorry, Andrew. Andrew's a Spurs fan, by the way.
We'll get to that.
No, it was phenomenal to watch, and I'm so happy for them. And I said this the other day. What Wrexham have done and like what Birmingham are doing, and it's amazing. It's great for fans in America. It's great for the sport. But the Wrexham story is not a miracle story. People are like, wow, what a miracle. They got promoted 4 times. They're outspending everybody, right? So they should have a chance to get promoted. Lincoln City, I said this to you guys, they spent the 17th most out of 24 teams this year.
Yeah.
And finished first by a mile. They're 12 points clear at the top.
Jeez.
That is a miracle.
Yeah, it's
That's
impressive.
it's incredible. So I'm just so proud.
Is that down to good coaching, recruiting, that type of thing?
You know what it is in League One, Tim? And I say this about MLS too. It's continuity. So like keeping the sporting director, Jez, has been there now many, many years. The CEO, Leo, has been there many, many years. The chairman, Clive Nates, who's a phenomenal human, been there many, many years. Now they have a head coach who's been there a few years, and they've kept their players consistent. There is some changing, but most of League One is like every year players are going here and there and there, and they've had consistency, and that's made a difference.
So are you as an owner super excited now? Like championship gets you like
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like some of the clubs you play and some of the games that will happen.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like selfishly, like what we got to go to like a big game, like
yeah,
big.
Well, it could be Spurs. I mean, not joking, right? Like, but we could go to a big game. That'd be amazing. And Lincoln's an incredible town, by the way.
Yeah, we can go to West Ham, maybe.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that'd be incredible. So let's do it.
Where is Lincoln? Remind me geographically.
It's like central and east, far east. So like Birmingham, but far east.
Oh, so
it's out in the countryside, and like it's beautiful, man. Yeah. Beautiful place.
Awesome, great.
Yeah.
So now that they're in the championship, are you going to suddenly become like super hands-on, like a success has 1,000 fathers,
in the director's box
kind of thing?
every week?
Andrew, I don't have a lot of skills, but one thing I know is what I don't know, and I just stay out of the way. They're doing an amazing job. You stay far away.
Put your nice suit on, sit in the director's box, eat some prawn sandwiches.
That's right.
Nice. Well, hey, congrats. It's very cool. And like you mentioned, they could be playing Spurs next season. This our next question here comes from MW. Says he's Joey's dad, which I think was from an email several months back.
Oh.
But MW writes in questions from a depressed Spurs fan.
Yeah.
Number one,
is there any kind of other Spurs fan?
That's a good point. Question one, what should I look forward to if Spurs make the championship as a relegated team? How do we even follow them?
The championship.
Right. If they qualify for championship play next season. And second part of that question is, and this is kind of a big one here, which is can almost be an episode unto itself, but who is most to blame for Tottenham's downfall? Coaching changes, the coaches, the players, ownership. So, and he also throws in, by the way, his song pick, "Calm Like a Bomb" by Rage Against the Machine, to add to our playlist. But yeah, so those are the two questions. What to look forward to if they make the championship, and who's most to blame?
Well, let's answer back to front. The players. The players. Because LAFC, LA Galaxy went through this last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were missing one or two players. They had a brilliant coach. Great organization, and they literally couldn't punch their way out of a wet paper bag. Like, you can win a game of football, by the way. You can get lucky and win a game of football. So, Spurs, which I've said, and I'll continue to say, I've got my cheat sheet up. I've got my Premier League app. Wolves, Burnley, Spurs, West Ham, Forest, Leeds. Out of those 6 teams, Spurs have like the best squad by a trillion miles. A trillion miles.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't win a game in the calendar year 2026. Is that is that coach? Landon and I have said, literally, your coach cannot show up for a week, and you could go out on the pitch and win a game of football. It'd be hard, but you could do it. So the fact that they haven't won, it's shambolic. And I just still think, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to stick with this because I believe it. There's enough. They're more talented. Now that doesn't get you out of relegation, by the way. I sort of think the teams around. I don't trust the teams around them. Now, by the way, I have very little trust in Spurs. I just don't trust the team. Burnley and Wolves are gone, right? So Spurs are on 30. Like, if you go from Leeds on 33, Forest 33, West Ham 32, Spurs 30, like that's like one result. Mm-hmm. So I believe that the team that's going to get more results, not many, is Spurs. I do. I don't trust the other teams. The one caveat I will say, and I said this weekend on air, and I'll let you go, LD. With the teams down, Leeds they've been a yo-yo team, right? So they know what it's like. Forest and West Ham have been in it and have been frightened to death, right? So they've been fighting. there is a thing, and we've seen this in the Premier League throughout the course of time. You almost are like, what? Like, we're not going down. Like, we're too good. You don't even think about it, right? And you're like,
you don't think it's real.
No, we don't think it's real. Like, I'm too good. And in order to get out of that scrap, you actually have to go, not putting gel in my hair today.
Yeah.
I'm rolling my sleeves up. I'm leaving the wash bag, the designer wash bag at home. Like, I ain't a Spurs player no more. I'm just going to be a gritty, tough son of a you-know-what. And unless that collectively happens, which it hasn't happened yet, still 6 games ago, then I don't know. Then maybe they don't. But I like Roberto De Zerbi. How quickly can he get sort of his idea? We saw it. We actually saw it. They play a little bit, bring it on to him. Then they play long, a bit like Brighton. They had 4 up top. So everything was trying, like, into Solanke, into Richarlison. So you can see some patterns. And then this week he'll have, another 6 days under his belt. So I do think with the players they have, and if he can get some of these tactical points across, I think it helps him. I don't know.
Andrew, as a fan, like, where do fans put the blame?
A confluence. So for me, it's the meeting point of a few things. I know he's not there anymore, but you can't erase things that happened near the end of the Levy era.
Mm-hmm.
When they were good, transfer windows that went by without, I think they went over 500 days without signing somebody back when they were good. And like that stuff comes back to bite you years later. I think, like Tim said, it's the players. Tim, I was watching you guys this weekend. I think it was Robbie Earle who said, if you took these players and took off Tottenham jerseys and put them in some other uniform, like, would we actually think these guys are that good? And I don't know. I don't think the team is that good. And then the one, I hate to say this, but because you can't quantify this, but luck has killed them. Whether that's like, I don't know, you guys sometimes say injuries aren't luck, but sometimes they are. And so they've been ravaged by injuries. So I think that's probably at least part of it. I think they're the only team in all 4 English divisions that haven't won a penalty this season, like little things like that. Calls that have, Romero pushes someone in the box, it's a penalty, he gets pushed in the box. It's not like those little things may not usually matter, but when you're at the bottom of the table, they all matter.
Well,
and it's kind of down to luck.
Yeah, they're all adding up is what it is.
So
yeah,
it's a few things. It's not just one thing.
Right. But I hear you. But ultimately, when all is said and done, if Spurs go down, they're quite literally going to go down by a point or 2, which basically means all of those things you said, that group of players will have needed to only muster a 30-minute charge in one game over the course of 6 months just to get a draw or just to get one more goal. And I'm saying they're a freaking talented bunch of players that should be able to do that at the end of the day. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed.
Also, to help out our emailer, MW, he asked, how do we even follow them? Paramount Plus, in case you're wondering. They have.
I'm going to be watching Paramount
NBC
Plus.
and Peacock. It'll be fine. They're staying up.
So there you go.
I actually, real quick, I often wonder, this is always something that, like, I think about, because Everton went through this a couple years ago. And I often think about, like, how too cool for school is the crowd if you stay up, right? Like with Everton, they were like, no, this means a lot. Like
we're
we stay up,
pitch,
we're bum rushing the pitch, right? And I sort of like one of my best friends is a Spurs fan and a season ticket holder, and I sort of think if they stay up, they're gonna be like, yeah, all right, and they're just gonna walk out. I don't know what's gonna happen if they actually stay up on the last day, which I think will happen.
It does feel like it will be hard to celebrate the same way Everton celebrated.
Sure, exactly.
I can't imagine that.
Right, that's my point. Yeah.
All right, last one. This comes from William via email. Tim, you asked for heat last week. Responding to your pleas, I offer the following unvarnished take on USMNT performances. For the last 9 months or so under Mauricio Pochettino, the USMNT have played better, put in more dynamic and promising performances with the absences of Pulisic, McKinney, and Adams, among others. Now, hear me out. I don't discount or denigrate their individual talents. I recognize the quality of their performances for their club teams over several years now, outside of McKinney's ill-fated loan at Leeds. That said, the eye test concludes that when we've had the likes of Luna, Tillman, Agyemang, no longer, but I get his point, Arfston, Freeman, Berhalter, the U.S. play with more teamwork and esprit de corps. Though they are not better players man for man, they are a better squad without the marquee players. I'd rather see these B squad players out on the pitch who may not be as talented, but play with more hunger and fire than their A squad counterparts. That's from William. What do you guys think?
Well, William's probably not wrong in some respects. I get that. But what you're always battling again, and then you were a coach at a time, and you had to pick an 11. What you're always sort of battling against is, and it's not like it's not like the hope creed, but you're like, I'm putting out the best players in the best positions with what I hope are the best partnerships. And if on that day I get that right, that's the best possible scenario for us to win. Now, I just don't, with respect, I think if you took the most diehard American soccer fans, U.S. men's soccer fans, and we get to that first game, we're in LA, and that team sheet comes out 45 minutes before the game, and you don't see the names that you just mentioned, we'd all be like, huh? We don't have a chance in heck of winning. So, in theory, yeah, sure, you get a bunch of guys who are rah-rah and willing to dig in, but for me, I still want Weston and Christian and Tyler and all the big guys on the pitch because that gives us the best chance to win, in my opinion. But I appreciate the sentiment.
The problem is, and this is the broken record, and we've said this a gazillion times, we have no idea who the best group are. Right. And so every time there's been a camp or a game, it's a new starting 11. I mean, we can do the research. Has the same 11 ever played together under Pochettino? Like, I mean,
yeah, back to back. Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, not even back to back. I'm just saying ever. I don't know.
It's a great question.
And so probably not, but there is so much value in that. And then you go, okay, this all worked, but those two didn't have a great partnership. So let's try Serginho Dest instead of Alex Freeman the next game. Or, we're going to play Flo again instead of playing Christian there because we want to see how he works with Gio. I'm just making stuff up, right? Yeah. But we have no clue. And when you're a coach, you're right, Tim. You have your best 11 players, and then you have your best 11 who play best as a team. Yeah. And those oftentimes are very different, or at least a little different. Yeah. And you have to figure out what that is and what that looks like. And you only do that through like continuity and trying all that early on, but then getting close to the partnerships and maybe moving one or two around and seeing how that works.
But so let me carry on to that point, right? LD. So AG, the question was asked, what we're lacking in this cycle, and if you go back to like the Bruce Arena era, 2002, 2006, you can go to the Bob Bradley era as well. Those teams had a continuity, and we've talked about this, to where we knew the eight of the 11. We knew that, barring injuries or niggles or whatever. We knew who was going to be on the pitch. We knew who the goalkeeper was going to be. We knew who the two center backs were going to be. We knew who the striker and the two wingers were going to be. We knew who the sixth was going to be. Now, did the fullbacks fluctuate? Sure. Did one of the midfielders fluctuate? Sure. But there was 8 out of the 11. Same with Bruce's team, right? That's how Landon and Clint got in the team. The team was set. They can sprinkle 1 or 2 in. If they worked, great. If not, they come out. This wasn't like we make 6 changes, right? Phil Neville talked about it. I talked about it with Phil Neville. Sir Alex Ferguson had a team that could win the league every year. And then every now and again, it was a big game. And Phil Neville, boom, dropped him in at the number 6 or dropped him in at the right back slot or left back slot. So he made these little changes. What Landon's saying is we should by now, no, these guys are nailed down. These 8 guys are nailed down. Don't even ask me questions about them. Those are the 8 that are playing. The other 3, well, we'll see. Maybe it's Sebastian, and if he has a good run, he keeps his place in the team. Or maybe it's Gio on that side. And if he has a good run, he keeps his place in the team. But this constant chopping and changing, we quite literally have no idea.
And oftentimes, just to tie a bow, oftentimes it's not even Pochettino's fault. Mm-hmm. Like some of it, sure, is his decision, but a lot of times guys are injured or don't want to come in or whatever, and so you just lose those. And that's why we were harping on that a year ago in the summer during the Gold Cup.
Well, that's
like, well, and no, this is why.
That's the idea. And Landon's been through it probably more than I have, but like we've been through it the same amount. U.S. soccer has done a good job over the last 25 years of sort of using the summer before or the 2 summers before to do what they call this dry run, right? So it's a tournament, or they schedule games that feel like a tournament. Like we've done it before. We didn't have a tournament where we're playing like 3 games cross country in 10 days, and we're trying to mimic something, right? But you can only mimic that schedule wise if you have your players. And so the idea last summer would have been we're putting our best players on the field, minus maybe the goalkeeper we're going to change, or maybe Diego Luna we're going to change, or Sebastian Berhalter. But this is what next summer is going to look like.
Yep.
And we missed the opportunity. But again, that's water under the bridge. But that's how normally it operates. And yet we're here a couple months out from the World Cup and we don't know. So,
Good stuff. There you go. That's the Fan Connection. Remember, if you have a question for the show, hit us up at feedback@unfilteredsoccer.com.
Nice job, AG. Nice
well
debut,
done.
bud.
Well done.
Good job.
Thanks, fellas.
We're hooking you on 65 minutes to save your legs, but good job.
Appreciate it. Thank
See
you.
you, AG. All right, Timmy. Another great show. I enjoyed that. Might see you tonight at the corner store. I have to look into the menu a little bit more. Appreciate all you guys, as always, for being with us. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to those who already subscribe. If not, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts, and follow the show across all our social media, Unfiltered Soccer, for lots of bonus content. Thanks, as always, to our presenting sponsor, VW, our Fan Connection sponsor, AT&T, and our Stoppage Time sponsor, FanDuel.
Yeah, another great episode, mate. Thank you to our Unfiltered Refresh sponsor, Coors Light, our additional sponsors, Airbnb, Coca-Cola, and Walmart. Have an amazing week. We'll see you back here next Tuesday with another edition of Unfiltered Soccer.